All right. Microphone has been fixed. I'm back. I'll have to imitate the voice of God because that intro was really cool, so hang on. Coming to the stage, President of Miami EdTech, Carlos Vasquez. Yeah, take two, we got it right. Although that song would have been great. But anyhow, every year Emerge, we have day one, and it's like, how do we top day one? And then day two rolls along. We have some amazing pitches earlier this morning. Pretty intense, high energy, main stage. And now we're about to roll into our early stage. We have 10 companies who are going to be pitching on this stage for a chance to hit the main stage later this afternoon. How many of you here are rooting for one of these companies that are pitching? Okay, let's hear a little more support. They're nervous back there. I saw them. You got to be really vulnerable to come on stage, pitch your idea, hope that the judges see the vision. But you know what's even more incredible? All of these companies pitching who are following their dreams, trying to make it happen, one part that is super critical to the success of any business are its people, right? The talent. And so I think I might have mentioned this to you all yesterday. If you were here yesterday, if not, I won't judge you, it's fine. But I have the privilege of serving as the chair of the STEM Advisory Board for Miami-Dade County Public Schools. Oh, you guys don't like that? Fine. All right, whatever. Fine. What that means, first of all, Miami-Dade County Public Schools is the third largest school district in the country. And it's made up of phenomenal teachers, administrators, district representatives, including the Career and Technical Education Department. We just launched an artificial intelligence registered apprenticeship program. And as part of that program, we have almost 50 students enrolled in our AI pre-apprenticeship program. If you are a student in one of those programs, can you make some noise, please? Oh, guys, that was your shot. If you are a student in one of those programs, make some noise. Let's hear it for these students. Come on. They need help, clearly. But that's all right. Not only that, as I mentioned, you're going to get to hear from the next phase of companies who are pitching. So I'm going to introduce each one of the names of the companies. They'll come on stage one by one, share their pitch. Hopefully, you don't throw anything at them. Don't throw anything, guys, please, okay? Only thumbs up. So, Alfana, if you're supporting them, you might want to clap. Let's hear it for Alfana, Builderfi, Fluix, Kiwi, Clerk, Credfeed, MagicLog, Moda Lab, Prosperous AI, and Vugo. Let's give them a large round of applause, please, and bring them onto the stage. Thank you, guys.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing? All right, let's get alive. All right, so we are building Alfana. It's an autonomous AI content manager. And I am Sebastian Mora. I'm the CEO and co-founder. And I'll tell you one thing. I've founded and exited multiple ventures in the past that have led to over $500 million in exits. But there's one company I'm more excited about, and that's Alfana. And it's because of creators like Maya. You see, Maya is a talented music and video creator based out of Los Angeles. Now, her job is to create and repurpose a tidal wave of content, from short-form TikTok clips to all types of media. But you see, for her, she's usually left with a laundry list of tasks, time-consuming, it's frustrating experience for those like Maya. So we began to think, how could we automate the entire process for those like her? What if we could actually take one video and turn it into over 30 pieces of content in less than 90 seconds? That's exactly what we've done with Alfana. I'm going to show you how this works. So first, creators can come in and connect their accounts. We pull in and aggregate from streaming music to social media accounts, and we leverage that past data and analytics and her content. We analyze it to train her own personalized AI based on her voice, her image, her audience, and topics that she discusses. And from there, she can take any piece of video, drop it into the platform, and we will automate the entire process for her, generating engaging content 10 times faster while 10xing her reach. As if Alfana continues to evolve, we actually learn and improve to create new content autonomously. Now, what once took Maya hours is now achieved in minutes. Now, there's a whole list of reasons why I think we are better than our competitors. The number one is that we are the only ones focusing on making the entire process fully autonomous, working 24/7. Now, Maya's not alone. We have about 99 users on the beta, with a few more that signed up, and millions of others who share Maya's pain. Now, we charge a monthly subscription fee, and our average price is about $1,752 a year. There are 50 million music and video creators, making our TAM 88 billion. Now, it only takes about 5,700 creators to get to 10 million in annual revenue and 57,000 creators to get to 100 million. Now, our go-to-market strategy, we're focused initially, as we said earlier, on music and video creators, and to dominate a segment, we're focusing on the Latino Hispanic market in the US. And we've already established 5 partnerships in the country with over 10 million followers aggregated together. I've got 22 followers online, and we're focusing on direct outreach, cold email, in order to be able to hit our goals. Our ultimate vision is to help these creators to be able to focus on their craft so that they can create and monetize autonomously. Now, as I mentioned earlier, both Elizabeth and I have actually founded and exited these ventures together. Her and I has scaled marketing campaigns globally. My time at Universal Music put me in Maya's shoes firsthand. So we're really excited here. We're raising $1.2 million to accelerate our growth, which will give us about a 12-month run rate. We have about $300,000 already filled. We've gone from 0 to 1, and now it's time for us to take off. And that's Alfana. We believe the future of content is autonomous. So we invite you to join us on that journey. Thank you. Oh, yes. Q&A, right?
Sebastian, great presentation right here.
There you go. Okay. Thank
How
you.
much was invested in the company before this round?
Before this round, we've put in a little over 100,000 personally between me and Elizabeth.
So how many running users on your platform? So how much people use it?
Yeah, right now we have about 100 users that are trying the beta. We haven't publicly launched outside of what you see us doing here, but that's where we are so far. We're early.
So this 100, you were launched when?
Over the last few months, users we brought on, beta, trying the product, etc. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wonderful presentation. Could you tell me a little bit about how your acquisition strategy is different from your competitors?
Yeah, definitely. So number one, we're focused on a very specific segment, right? So we aren't trying to tackle everyone all at once, and focusing on key partnerships in those segments that give us access to a wide list of partnerships, of creators. So I'll give you one example. For example, like a record label. The idea, they see so much power in what Alfana does that can help their bottom line that they would like to pre-buy licenses for their entire list of artists. And so we're targeting very strategic partnerships that allow us to get to scale in the shortest amount of time as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello? Yep. Hey, my man. Nice
Hey.
job. Congratulations.
Thanks so
I know
much.
we talked about the pitch deck, and so it's a crowded space. You talked about being the unique value proposition is the being autonomous AI. So where's your barrier of entry, and how do you prohibit or defend that position that you're in as you grow and scale?
Yeah, I think a big part of it comes from our background and experience, from owning an agency, launching 2 different SaaS companies, a lot of them in the marketing, content space. We know exactly what our customers do. We are customer obsessed, like laser focused on what our customers need. And I have not seen anybody else, maybe outside of Jeff Bezos, and maybe there's others, But that in this space of what we're doing, that is so laser focused on what they need, and we know what they need in order to get there. So even though we talk about it being autonomous, there's a lot of things happening in the background for that. Yeah, thank you.
Sebastian, great presentation.
Thank you.
What's the biggest risk facing your startup in the next 12 months?
The biggest risk?
Yeah.
That's a great question. Yeah, how do you answer that question? That's a good one. The biggest risk is that no more creators. They stop, and everything gets banned. I guess would be a biggest risk if something were to happen. I'd probably have a better answer for that later, but yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you. Good. All right.
Thank you, Sebastian.
Thank you, everyone, for your time. Appreciate it. Bye, everyone.
Hi, everybody. I'm Isabel Rodriguez, founder and CEO of BuilderFi, where we're making construction finances simple. So this is the Signature Bridge project, which is set to transform Miami's landscape forever. But for those of us who live in downtown Miami, for the last few weeks, we've had crazy traffic. And this project is now delayed to 2027 due to supply chain issues, amongst others. Issues that I'm no stranger to, because I grew up in a family of construction back in Colombia, with both my father and my brother being contractors. That inspired me to start my own construction business when I moved to the US. And while I really enjoyed being on the job site delivering stunning residential and commercial projects in Miami, what I didn't enjoy a lot was actually coming back to the office and facing the other reality of being a subcontractor, chasing down progress payments. I was pretty stressed out and in fact had to go out of business. And I'm not alone in this, as millions of construction businesses go out of business every year due to cash flow constraints. Construction is one of the industries where more businesses go out of business every year due to this same issue. And in fact, billions are wasted in the US construction industry from inefficient payment processes. The subcontractor fronts the cost for labor and materials, and on average waits 94 days to get paid by the general contractor due to cumbersome manual payment application processes and compliance reviews that are done manually. There's many stakeholders involved and limited working capital solutions for subcontractors to get through these 94 days. And that's why BuilderFi is here. We're set to transform the construction industry's financial landscape forever, with streamlined project cash flow management tools and integrated financial processes, with embedded finance solutions, financial insights and tools, and using AI to power the entire payment application process. While other point solutions have limited automation and interconnectivity, BuilderFi is here with instant financing, automated payments, and compliance. This is a massive opportunity to disrupt the $1.9 trillion construction industry, where $273 billion are being spent by the subcontractor and the general contractor financing slow payments. And since launching 4 weeks ago, well, we've now granted almost $200,000 in credit, onboarded 10 customers to a closed beta, and have 2,000 customers in pipeline for a broader launch. We started with just an idea last year out of the incubator program of Venture Miami from the city of Miami, and were accepted into Techstars this year and secured our first lending partnerships. This is what some of our customers have to say about us. BuilderFi is an incredible platform where contractors manage project finances and access working capital solutions. Our revenue model is business-to-business software as a service, depending on number of projects and revenue size. And we also charge transaction and financing fees from the embedded solutions we offer. We're a team with boots on the ground experience in fintech and construction, really passionate about disrupting legacy industries. And now we're opening our pre-seed round for $1.5 million so we can launch our payments product, onboard 500 customers, reach $1 million in annual recurring revenue, and process $25 million in financing solutions. We're also looking for partners with industry advisory and access to market so that we can iterate faster. So who's going to join us in building the future together? Thank you.
So congratulations. Great to see you again. She's looking for me. We're all over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, like,
We're hiding from you.
oh.
So how do you scale a business? Obviously, you're just starting to get some basic traction now. Any ideas about what are your go-to-market channels to grow from here?
Yeah, so as you know, construction is a handshake industry. So in terms of distribution, it is really important to tap into existing networks. So all of our existing customers are through referrals from a contractor network of roofing contractors and others. So we're tapping into existing contractor networks, larger general contractors that on a project might have between 100 and 150 subcontractors alone. And then also into existing technology solutions that are already having subcontractors manage their projects and other parts of the workflow.
How does the financing piece enter into this?
Yes, so our differentiator is really being at the point of the workflow where they're sending out their payment application. So we're offering an advance of that payment application. And when they order materials, we're able to extend those terms. So we're removing the burden also from the supplier who is waiting to get paid. Right now, we're charging between 1% and 3% monthly on financing fees. And there's a one-time origination fee, which is for every single deal that gets done. So we get a revenue share from that through our partner.
Great presentation. You mentioned that you're raising $1.5 million for this upcoming round. Could you tell us a little bit more about the use of funds for that?
Yes, so we want to launch our payments product. So part of it is going to product development. We're also looking to onboard 500 customers. So a lot of customer support infrastructure for that. We want to reach $1 million in annual recurring revenue. So that includes expanding our financial services products, our offering as well, so we can service larger contractors.
Hi, great presentation. Maybe spend a second on the product. I'm a little confused. Is it a payment platform? Is it a financing company? Like, how are you thinking about this?
So it's both. It's actually a software as a service platform where subcontractors are paying a monthly fee just to use our platform to power their payment workflow. But then in that process, we have embedded financing solutions. So we offer financing, whether that's for their payments to their material suppliers or to get advances for their payment applications.
And it wasn't clear. How are you competitively different here?
Well, there's a huge connectivity issue between all the point solutions that exist in construction. So our competitive advantage is we actually have better interconnectivity and automations. And we provide instant financing. So that's something that other solutions can take over a week to get approvals. And when the week is done, the contractor has already delivered some way.
And what do you see as your financing needs over the next 12 months?
Well, we're raising $1.5 million for a pre-seed round.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Abi, and I'm the CEO and founder of Fluix, where we built an eco AI to save facilities 40% in energy costs. What facilities are we interested in? Mission critical ones, such as data centers. With the growth of AI and the internet, data centers are projected to consume 40% of the world's power consumption by 2040. But a lot of people don't know that for every 20 to 50 questions you ask ChatGPT, you can consume a water bottle amount of fresh water inside these data centers. Existing building management systems inside data centers only control isolated systems. Your HVAC, IT, water, and lighting all are fragmented and do not work together, leading to millions wasted in energy costs. So at Fluix, we developed Amy. Amy's our artificial intelligence for managing infrastructure. It's a holistic AI that connects and controls multiple fragmented systems to save energy. This is Amy's dashboard. It provides key efficiency and energy cost metrics for data centers. Many facilities have to find these efficiency metrics and write it down. It also shows AI insights on how to improve your facility and lower your energy bill. This is how Amy works. We integrate with existing hardware. We're all software. We find optimization and insights, and then we send those insights to control facility systems and save up to 40% in energy costs. We've proven our AI works. Our first case study showed that we can save Nanyang Technology University 33% in energy costs. And most recently, we saved our pilot client, Solidion, 40% on their energy bill by running Amy autonomously. We've generated $75,000 in pilot revenue, testing Amy across 4 paid pilots with data centers and manufacturing facilities. These pilots have a reach of $850K and potential reoccurring revenue by the end of this year, and we've already transitioned Solidion from a pilot client into a recurring client with our AI dashboard. We visited over 20 plus facilities in the last 18 months, and due to rising energy costs, carbon regulations, and all this AI demand, these companies are looking for sustainable solutions like Fluix. And existing building management systems only focus on homogeneous facilities with the same brand and era of HVAC, lighting, and water systems. But a majority of facilities are complex environments. That's why we built a multimodal AI that connects with any facility system. The bottom line, we can go after a larger market and save more money. And a majority of small to medium-sized data centers are fragmented, which our competitors don't cater to. This is a $990 million SOM. We also see opportunities to go after other critical infrastructure, such as power plants and manufacturing facilities. And our monetization strategy is simple. We first provide AI insights, then upsell to our autonomous copilot. We charge a monthly fee on how many racks data centers have. And this is our team. I'm a second-time founder. My first startup built patented liquid cooling technologies for data centers, and later I became a DoD thermal engineer. My CTO, Chase, was an AI researcher at UC Irvine and built autonomous AI models for NASA and IBM. And together, we built an innovative team of data center experts and automation engineers. We're here today because we're raising a $2 million pre-seed, and we've already banked $515,000 in funding. If you're interested in helping us close our round, come to booth AI6. I'm Abhi, and we're using autonomous AI to decarbonize data centers. Thank you so much.
Great presentation. Right here. 2 quick questions. Number one, how are you going to deploy the capital that you're raising? Go ahead.
Yes, so we found a pipeline of customers that Johnson, Schneider, and all these automation companies are not going after. The way we're going to deploy our capital is we're going to use it for InfoSec requirements. SOC 2 Type 2 to go after larger infrastructure. We're also going to transition our team that's part-time and full-time to be able to host larger clients. A sales and solutions architect to take requirements and onboard larger customers. They've already given us LOIs, so they're looking us to integrate. So team, InfoSec requirements, and product as well.
And number 2, who are your competitors?
So right now, Phaedra AI and DeepMind AI, they're building AI to optimize facilities, but they haven't built a multimodal process. They have to have a hardware product. They can't integrate with everybody. Then they only go after homogeneous facilities. So if they have the same HVAC system, they can't save energy, but a majority of facilities don't have that. They don't have the same HVAC systems. That's where our model comes in to integrate these facility systems. So we're focused on facilities with complex environments.
What needs to be true for you to be able to capture that $30 million pipeline that you showed us on the slide?
What needs to be true for us to capture $30 million is rising energy rates have to increase across the U.S. Check. Austin went from 7 cents per kilowatt to 9 cents per kilowatt. AI demand has to not slow down. Check. We're all using AI right now. Number 3, because of carbon regulations, these data centers are pigeonholed and they have to be able to look for new innovative solutions to work with their environment. Check. So those are what we're focusing on.
What about specifically for the product? What
yeah,
features would need to be true to be able to capture the pipeline?
100%. So what we have to be able to show is an AI that can integrate, unify all of the disparate systems, and control facility systems autonomously. We've already shown that in our case studies and proven that. So we can now integrate with larger facilities. If we get our InfoSec requirements, we can go after larger data centers that need those InfoSec requirements. So those are some of the stuff we need in case studies, but some of the stuff we're missing right now. But that's why we're here raising funds.
Quick question on, nice job on your presentation. Quick question on the AI itself. How is it implemented in the product today? So how is it benefiting the end user?
So if you're a facility manager inside a data center and a heat wave is approaching your facility, you want to pre-cool the environment, turn all the AC systems up. But right now, all the HVAC systems are Johnson, Schneider, Vertiv. So there's no one there's no one software to control everything. The AI identifies what the system is, how to communicate to it, and how to control it. So once it's seen how you control your environment, it mimics the action, and you don't have to walk around your data center doing so. So it grabs data, it learns how to connect, and then it automatically repeats that action.
Avi, great presentation. Can you tell me about your security strategy?
Yes. So as you can imagine, this is an attack vector. But if we're on premises and your controls is within your firewall, within your InfoSec requirements, that's how we hedge against attack variables. We understand. I'm ex-Raytheon and DoD. I come from the most highest InfoSec requirements. This is mission-critical infrastructure. We want a portion of our software to be on premises, but we take learnings to the cloud. So we're scalable, but also safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, great presentation. Quick question. You said you just software, not hardware. Like, how you support different equipment vendors? Like,
yeah, so for example, we have hardware partners like Magnum First and some of these other companies that install sensors. So in New York, when there's a regulation like Local Law 97 and you want to decarbonize your facility, these sensor companies are already moving into these facilities, adding temperature, humidity sensors. They could be utilized as a channel partner. So there's already a wave of digitization and decarbonizing buildings. We're on top of that wave, and we use hardware partners.
thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Come see us at AI6. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mariano. I'm one of the co-founders of Kiwi, where we help Latino consumers in the US access capital and build credit history. The story of this company starts with my personal story. I grew up in the Dominican Republic, and I'm the oldest of 7 siblings. And growing up in a large family, I saw firsthand how hard my parents had to work to pay all the bills on time, to provide for all of us, and even to give me the opportunity to move here to the US for university. I remember when I first got here, things like opening a phone account were very hard to do, and 4 years later, even after getting a job on Wall Street, finding an apartment to rent was a nightmare, as landlords were asking for a 6-month deposit. All of this just because I had no credit history. The combination of these experiences made me to become obsessed with the problem that many people have when they lack financial security and when they don't have a credit history. And this is when I realized that this is actually a massive, massive problem, especially for Latino consumers living here in the US, where 40% of them are living paycheck to paycheck with very little savings and with little to no data on their credit report. And too often, when they need to access financing to cover recurring expenses, because they don't have a credit history, the only guys that open the door for them are these old school alternative lenders. And this is a massive market. Consumers are spending more than $40 billion per year using this type of services. And while their products help consumers in the short term, they are not really designed to help consumers build their credit history and access better financial products in the future. And this is exactly what we do. We have a platform where millions of Latinos can build their financial identity from scratch by accessing our credit lines, credit monitoring, and credit building products. Our flagship product, which is the Kiwi Credit Line, is essentially an installment loan up to $1,000 that consumers repay in 9-month equal installments, and where we make money via interest revenue. Those consumers that pay on time, the data shows that they see an average increase in their credit scores of up to 80 points, as we're reporting the payment data to all major bureaus. We're able to offer this because we have built our own machine learning underwriting models that are based on real-time transactional data. We see where consumers are today, not where they were in the past, which is what traditional institutions do when they put too much weight on the credit report. Since inception, we have been growing more than 400% every year. Today, we have a $10 million plus annualized revenue run rate. We are profitable, and we have secured a $75 million credit facility to continue to scale. We have already impacted more than 40,000 lives, and our plan is to increase our customer base by more than 10x over the next 5 years. We're gonna do this by investing a lot in AI to be able to scale very efficiently, and by also launching new products such as checkings and savings account early next year. We have a hyper-focused marketing growth strategy, which is we're focusing first on what we call the Caribbean Hispanics, which you can bucket them together as a group, and we reach them through different online and physical channels. Today, we have a very strong presence in Puerto Rico. Now we're in the process of expanding into Florida, and after that, we want to go into Texas. In just these 3 markets, if we get close to a 5% market share, we have a $100 million revenue business per year. We believe we have the best team in place to achieve this mission. Both of the founders were Latino immigrants, and we're surrounded by a team of experts in the areas of data science and compliance to help us execute. Our next goal is to increase revenues up to $100 million. To do this faster, we're going to start the process of raising a $7 million financing round. This is a massive opportunity. The Latino economy is the fastest growing segment of the US economy. This is a business that has the potential to impact millions of lives while providing financial access to the people that need it the most. Thank you.
Congratulations, another great presentation. Could you tell us a little bit about your competitors and how you're differentiated?
So the main competitors are what I showed on the screen, which are payday lenders, title lenders, and pawn shops. It's just a very old school legacy industry that there has been very little innovation on. There are some new digital banks, right, that they are offering type of earned wage access products, but they don't really help build credit history. We're structuring the product in a way where not only it provides financing, but it actually helps them build credit history.
Beyond the piece about creating credit history, it looks like you're giving them a $1,000 loan they're paying back over 8 or 9 months, and I'm sure you're evaluating the credit potential of these
Yes.
people. What else does the app do?
So we have 3 different products. The wedge is the credit lines, but then people who don't qualify for whatever reason, or that they just want to build credit history, we created what we call like an alternative credit builder package, which is a group of financial education content that we create ourselves. And we tell consumers, hey, you can access this, pay $5 a month, and we will actually report the payment data to the credit bureaus. That way we're transforming educational financial data into actually credit data. And then they also can monitor their credit. The way that we see it is that this is the main pain point that consumers have. Once you extend them credit, consumers become loyal to you, and then that will open up the door for us to issue other products such as check-ins, remittances in the future, which a lot of these consumers use.
So I was going to ask you, like, what is the second stage to this? So you give them a microloan, they pay the loan back, and then they are off as a customer. But you're saying that there is potentially additional services that you could render to those existing customers.
Well, they don't go off because there's a lot of retention. At the end of the day, more than 50% of Americans, they are living paycheck to paycheck. And they need access to bridge financing all the time. So we have a very strong retention rate. Consumers continue using us. They continue building credit history. And then the plan is to start offering more banking products, checkings account, to become their fully digital bank in the future.
Great presentation.
Thank
Can
you.
you speak to your pricing model?
So we charge interest revenue, fully compliant. We have lending licenses in each place where we operate. And consumers typically pay around $10 per each $150 that they borrow from us on a monthly basis, which is 4 times cheaper than the other competitors are doing.
So does your underwriting model predict that you have enough customers to achieve your revenue goals in the market that you're focusing on?
Oh yeah, half of this country, it's a customer for this. That's the reality, and especially
Is half the country your target market?
well, we're starting with Latinos, right? Yeah. Because the market is so big the market is so big that we are very narrow and hyper focused. But you know, once we dominate the Latino community, it's open for everyone.
Does everyone have the same banking problems that Latinos have?
Latinos are more underbanked proportionally than, for example, white Americans, right?
Yeah.
But white Americans as well, like 20% of them are living paycheck to paycheck with very little savings and little to no data in their credit report. And they are users of these alternative products.
And just adding there, the beauty about the Latino market is that they tend to congregate in specific zip codes. So for us, it's important for us to build a very successful consumer brand, we need excellent distribution channels. So what we do, we go in specific zip codes and partner with large retailers, you know, and offer these products to communities around, let's say, you know, for instance, in New York, you have the Dominicans in Washington Heights. You have Ecuadorians in Jackson Heights. Same thing happens in Florida and in other states. So we have a very hyper-focused distribution channel.
Thank you.
Great presentation. So I'm happy that the product's already kind of profitable. So you're asking for 7 million. How are you going to distribute these funds? So what will be your top priority action items?
So essentially, is to unlock more capital from the credit facilities that we have. At the moment, we can get to $25 million portfolio, right? With that $7 million plus the profits that we're generating, there's a very clear path to us building like a 70 to 80 million portfolio there.
Okay, so it will increase your financing
capacity
fund,
to, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the product development side, marketing.
Well, as well, right? But we're profitable, so that's also, we're gonna use profits for that.
Okay.
It's mostly just to be able to scale faster. And
okay,
more.
okay, thank you.
Just one other question. You mentioned most of these people are underbanked. They don't have checking accounts, savings accounts. How do they actually pay back the loans?
Well, what we define as underbanked, those are consumers that actually have a checking and savings account. What they don't have is access to credit, because the banks that they are banking with, they are not giving them small dollar financing, because for a bank it's not profitable to be issuing these loans. So what we're doing is targeting those consumers and giving them access to credit. And they repay back the loans via ACH and debit payments. Good. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ali, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Clerk. Before I dive into Clerk and tell you all about how we reach profitability in just 8 months, let me tell you a little bit about me. I immigrated by the age of 13 years old to New York City, the big city, without no family, and I had to be independent. At the age of 20, I built my Airbnb business, which made over $3 million from just 5 properties on Airbnb. This is what brought me to the hospitality industry and what I'm doing today with Clerk. Event organizers struggle with inefficient sourcing and manual management of multiple vendors. That includes hotels, flights, venues, and more. They're dealing with long contracts, sourcing between thousands of vendors, and hundreds of emails. This results in increased costs, poor customer experience, and lost revenue opportunities. Our solution at Clerk is that we're an all-in one-stop shop for all travel and logistics for event organizers, not only to increase their success, but also their profit. We built an automated intelligent decision assistant to help provide recommendations on all vendors to event organizers, assisting them from planning to marketing, and of course, with a plug-and-play front-end experience for attendees to save them up to 50% off market rates. The business travel market is at $1.4 trillion a year. 42% of that goes towards conferences and events. That's $532 billion. Our focus is on the US market, which contains $139 billion a year. We've already seen traction with hundreds of businesses utilizing our services. For instance, Skift, the largest travel industry site, hosting 4 events a year with over 21,000 attendees. We had a quick round, signed them 3 months before the event, saved them over $85,000 on just hotels alone, and over 187 hours of operation. Our business model is simple, 20% commission on every transaction, not from the clients, from the vendors. Our goal for 2024 is to reach 80 events, generating 75,000 in gross booking sales per event. That will put us at $6 million in gross revenue, and clerk revenue will be at $1.6 million. We're already profitable. In Q3 of last year, we reached nearly 1,000 businesses, grossing at 1.5 with net 20% to us, $350,000. Our goal is to take it from 100 events to 1,000 events, exceeding $100 million in the next 5 years. So how do we do that? How do we plan to 10x? Our plan is to go through those 3 categories. The SMBs of the events industry, which are the event organizers hosting 4 to 50 events annually, then moving on to event productions and event organizers through all the meetups. We're the only profit-driven platform that provides an automated platform and decision-making assistant completely free for the event organizers. Our team is myself, with nearly 10 years of experience in the hospitality industry, my co-founder, Tom, who has 2 companies that he exited with over $280 million, and great investors and advisors throughout the journey. We are seeking 24 months of financing to reach 200 successful events. We're raising $3 million in seed round to reach $8.9 million in our net revenue. Imagine, every business trip is an event. And our vision is to seamlessly transform each journey into a successful, memorable event. Thank you.
Great presentation, Ellie. It's wonderful to see you again. You mentioned that your revenue forecast in 5 years is $81 million in gross revenue with a 20% commission rate. Can you talk to us a little bit about how your revenue models may evolve through time?
Sorry, how the revenue model?
Will you always, as you continue to grow to sort of reach these metrics, will you continue to leverage the same revenue model? Have you considered others? Would love to hear your thoughts.
Correct. So our revenue model right now is 20% commission from the hotels alone. We are building a holistic solution that will have multiple vendors. So that includes venues, food and beverage, flights, and many vendors that will be added into the marketplace for the holistic solution. Eventually, we'll have a SaaS model as well for the event organizers, but most of it will come from commissions from different vendors, which will help us increase our revenues throughout the time.
Great, thank you, Allie.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
Does your product lower the cost for the event provider?
Are you talking about the vendors or the event organizer?
The event organizer.
Absolutely. Our focus is not just to lower the costs for them and utilize the purchasing power of many attendees, many organizers hosting in the same area in order to lower the cost in front of the vendors.
So the 20% commission doesn't lead to markup on the vendor side that's passed through to the event?
Correct. We take the commission afterwards from the vendor side, which doesn't affect at all the discount and the pre-negotiated rates that we get for the organizers ahead of time.
So my last question is, how do you your startup, so how are you scaling the vendor side of this?
Great question. So with hotels, it's very simple. We have integrations to almost any hotel worldwide, and we built long-term relationships with hotels that are nearby the top 10 convention centers in the US. So we're focusing on location, first in the US in the top 10 locations, and then moving on to worldwide. Most of the event organizers we work with don't just host events in the US, they already host events also in Europe, and that's how we're planning to expand.
Can you talk about or expand upon the competitive landscape? Who's out there that's close to or resembling what you're doing today?
Right. So currently, if we're just looking at the accommodation part, there are other housing companies that are offering event organizers solutions to help with housing. But what they do is they still make the event organizer commit. The event organizer will have to commit to a room block, pay down payment, have risk of attrition if they end up not selling all the rooms. And that's what we take away that doesn't exist right now in the market. All they do is just source it and then give it on to the organizers. We take all the processes from them, all the risk, and no down payments, no commitment.
So you have the same level of risk as the organizers did at one time because you're taking the risk on the hotel block and
Not exactly. So when event organizers come for one event a year or a couple events a year, and usually that happens in different locations, they are negotiating with hotels for just one event. When we're negotiating for hundreds of events in the same location, we have better terms and better negotiation terms that we can get in front of the hotels, and therefore we're getting courtesy blocks. And those blocks we're able to release 30 days before the event happens if we don't sell up all of it. And so that's how we have zero risk on our end.
And how much capital are you raising, and what are you going to use it for?
Right, so we're raising right now $3 million for the next 2 years of financing. The agenda is to help us scale from taking it from what we have now, 80 to 100 events, all the way to 1,000 events, but also to improve our technology and build the marketplace with more vendors, improve the automations that we have, and so on.
So if your business model, you're charging the vendors to be on your platform, and your goal is to scale to go to 1,000 events, like using these funds, how exactly you will engage more vendors to come to your platform? Because your commission is quite high, so how you convince them to pick you and work with your platform?
Right, so the commission is not the same for all the vendors. The 20% commission is just for accommodations. And it's mainly because that's how it works in the accommodation industry with hotels. With every vendor, it will be different. And again, our agenda is to save the attendees as much money and the event organizer. So our focus is there. Essentially, that's why we will lower our commission and we'll take a SaaS for every organizer based on the number of events and number of attendees.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome. Well, thank you, everyone.
At CredFit, we have already unlocked over $15 million from the working capital of small and mid-sized businesses. And this happens in a pretty interesting context and amazing opportunity. Due to the global supply decoupling and the rise of nearshoring, 62% of all manufacturers have started their efforts to move their production closer to the American market. And because of this, it's forecasted that $5 trillion from manufacturing trade will shift into Latin America over the next 5 years. And we're already seeing the first signs of this. Last year, the US had more imports from Mexico than from any other country, surpassing China for the first time in 20 years. But in these value chains, the buyers usually have long payment terms with their suppliers that can go all the way up to net 180 days, which puts a lot of pressure on these suppliers' cash flows, which hinders their operations and sometimes even runs them out of business. 70% of all SMBs are actually profitable when they go bankrupt. And sadly, in Latin America, the traditional financial institutions have systematically underserved these SMBs. So they don't have the access to the financial services that they require to capitalize this opportunity and play an important role in these value chains. So that's why we built CredFit, a platform that helps manufacturing companies optimize their working capital, automate their accounts receivables, and also unlock their cash flow by turning the receivables into instant cash thanks to the underwriting models that we developed using alternative data and machine learning. But CredFit, it's also embedded into the workflows and software that these companies use on their daily operations so they can access financing in a completely frictionless way. And we already embedded into the new workflows that are emerging, such as B2B marketplaces, where CredFit becomes the embedded finance enabler for these other platforms. But how does this impact our customers? Well, Omar was one of our early customers when we came across each other. His company had been around for over 3 years. They had revenue over $160,000 yearly, but he had no credit history because the banks wouldn't provide him with any financing because he doesn't have real estate to put down as a collateral to get financing, But with CreditFit, he was able to access a line of credit in less than 24 hours, and he has now been able to increase its revenue by 511%, which is amazing. But why did we decide to solve this problem? Well, my name is Luis Sanchez, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of CreditFit. But previously, I was the CFO of another B2B startup where we had large corporate customers that paid us in net 180 days. So I've lived the problem firsthand, and also experienced the deficiencies of the traditional financial institutions in Latin America. So with Marisol, my co-founder and CTO, we decided to solve this problem. We're pretty happy to have the support of great investors that have deep expertise in the fintech industry. And right now, we're wrapping up the raise of our pre-seed round that will help us unlock a larger debt facility to continue to reach more manufacturing companies that need our solution. And this will also allow us to reach $5 million in ARR in the next 5 years. So join us, and let's build the financial solutions that the manufacturing industry in Latin America need to capitalize this huge opportunity. Thank you.
So you have the mobile app, and I saw that you have connections with other B2B solutions, right?
Yeah, we built APIs where we connect to other B2B solutions. So we're, for example, embedded into the procurement platform of our customers, and we have our own web app where they can forecast their cash flow, automate accounts receivable from invoicing all the way to collections, payment reconciliation. We automate all that financial part.
Who do you consider to be your biggest competitors, and how are you different?
So our biggest competitors are still the banks. They are the ones that have the most power. They are the most financing power. But our main differentiation with the banks is the fact that we take 6 hours to underwrite a customer, while banks in Latin America take 3 to 6 months. But if we go into the other fintech solutions, other lenders, what we see is that a lot of them are serving the B2B market, which is just too broad, and because of this, it is really hard to build the underwriting model. That's why most of our competitors have a 20% default rate when we have 1.4% default rate, and we're also faster underwriting. Our competitors take between 3 to 4 weeks to underwrite a new customer. We take 6 hours.
One more question. What are your long-term expansion goals?
Yeah, so right now we're starting with Mexico, and the way we're looking to expand is to do also cross-border. A lot of the imports of the United States that they're doing from Latin American companies, mainly manufacturing, that's how we're looking into expansion.
When you look at underwriting these loans, what are the criteria you use to look at their credit worthiness?
Yeah, so right now we're looking at 40 different variables, all weighted different. So we see at customer concentration, margins, gross and operating margins. We see their seasonality, their tendency of growth versus decreasing on growth. We also look at their credit history in case they have some outstanding loans, how their payment behavior is. If they don't have credit history, we can become that first financing solution to help them build a credit history as well. We look also at the behavior of the payment of the shareholders, the administrator of the company. So yeah, those are some of the ones that come to mind real quick. Oh, and we also see the payment behavior of each one of their customers. So we see this supplier, who are their customers, and how long and how good of a payer each customer is with this supplier, also to select which invoices are creditworthy and not only which companies are creditworthy. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm Carlos Salazar. I'm the CEO and founder of Magic Lock. Remember the days where the company starts with $200 in the pocket and a great idea? This is Magic Lock, a bootstrap company that starts with a great idea to a profitable business, giving superpowers to small and medium logistics providers. In the logistics providers industry, there are new digital players promising the new era of the logistics with technology and coming from Silicon Valley. What did the big whales or the big multinational companies of logistics did, like DHL or FedEx? They have been investing in digitalization as never before to protect to the threat of these new digital players. But what about the 60% of the unattended market that are small and medium logistics providers? They have an issue because they don't have the capabilities and the tech stack to compete. They are still doing manual reportings, manual quote and bookings. There are no analytics tools to offer to their customers and a lack of integrations. That's why we create Magic Log, that it's a white label platform designed to modernize and digitize the customer experience of small and medium logistics providers. With our technology, they can reduce 60% of the cost to serve their customers. They can increase 25% of retain and new sales generation. They can be 15% greener, and also they can implement 3 times faster if they decide to implement that in-house. So we give to the logistics, small and medium logistics providers, the way to compete with the digital players and also with the self-modernized big whales. With our platform, they can offer to their customers end-to-end visibility, transparency, analytics, quote and booking online, AI services, and also API and integration capabilities. So a real success case we have, it's a medium-sized company based in New York. This is a logistics provider that attends the logistics, the ocean logistics for Trader Joe's. In the past, Trader Joe's was very, very sad because there was a lot of emails and a bunch of Excel files. Now Trader Joe's is happy because my logistics provider customer is giving to them a really digital platform to serve their customer. So if Trader Joe's is happy, my logistics provider's customer is happy, so I'm happy. I have a very clear advantage and competitive advantage versus my competitors. That is, we cover the end-to-end of the logistics supply chain. There are other solutions, but just in the international part. But we cover the international customs, warehousing, distribution, purchase order management. So our solution is one all-stop shop. The market is very huge in logistics. There is a $1 trillion market, but we have a clear focus in Americas and in United States and Latin America, where we have 25,000 companies, small and medium logistics providers, and we have an average ticket size of $70,000. So we have a potential market of $2 billion, and we want to reach at least the 2% in the next 3 years. We have been a bootstrap company, and we closed with $1 million of revenue last year, just bootstrapping with profitable business, 0% option rate, and happy customers asking for us for a 3-year contract. But we closed a seed round with a corporate investor that actually is a current customer, where they invest to us $1.5 million, and we want to reach $40 million for the next 3 years. We are not IT people playing in the logistics ground. We have more than 40 years of combined experience in global multinational companies like DHL and Panalpina. So I'm looking for US-based strategic partners for growing, and also investors for a future Series A that I'm going to open before the end of the year. So I invite everybody to make logistics magic together with me. Thank you.
Great presentation. Quick question. How difficult is it for your competitors to offer the same range of services that you're proposing to offer? And number 2, what's sort of the secret sauce? What's the intellectual property?
Okay. How difficult to then it's to compete. First of all, we develop a very patented technology to integrate different systems in the different supply chains part. So they are very focused on just one specific segments, and we have already integrations with the different segments in the logistics. So it's very, very important, because when we sit down with a potential customer, we said to them, we already have the integrations. We are ready not only to offer to you a solution for one single part, but for all the supply chain. And the secret sauce that we have, first of all, integrations is one of them that we have been investing a lot. And I can tell you that the industry know-how, because we came from the logistics industry, it's also a secret sauce we have. Actually, I have customers that came from my competitors telling to me, these guys are IT guys, they don't know about the industry, and they are changing from my competitors or me, because we built a product with a very, very good industry know-how.
The SMB market that you mentioned is quite large. Who is your customer beachhead to start? Could you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Yes, my perfect size of customer, it's not so small, but not so big. So when I talk about small and medium logistics providers, at least with a $10 million of revenue by year. When I have more than $10 million of revenue, it's a company that fits with my proposal. And of course, not so big like DHL or them, because they have been doing already their own technology. So it's like a small with these parameters and not so big.
How do you source and acquire those partners?
We are going where they are, because our industry is very traditional. So we are doing the partnerships with the specialized logistics association, for example, to talk with the Miami Beacon-Dale Trade and Logistics Committee, with the Customs Brokerage and Freight Forwarding Association in Florida. So in my industry, it's not just to send 1 million of emails, because they are very traditional. So we need to be where they are. We are doing the associations and sit down in breakfast and different events in order we can present our product to the decision makers.
What's the average cost for your customer of your solution?
We have 3 levels of service, but the average cost depends on the size of transactions of my customer and also the modules they want. If they want just international or if they want more modules. I can give you some average. It starts from $3,000 per month, but it could go until $10,000 to $12,000 per month.
Okay, so since you're targeting like the small logistics providers, like there are some solutions like SAP S/4HANA Public Cloud, which is also targeting the mid-size, but sometimes even the small businesses, but they already have this functionality built in. Plus you have more ERP functionality. So like, do you have these integrations? Do you compete with them?
Okay, it's very common that today the logistics providers, they have an operative system. They operate old-fashioned, or they already have something to operate. The problem is the customer-faced, correct? They cannot offer to their customers a digital experience. So what we do is we can integrate, and we have been integrating several of the current operative and ERP systems that they are using. Not only for the operative part, but also systems like QuickBooks, where they use for the accounting. So we are ready to connect some of the ERPs they have, and we have some customers that also request, hey, I developed my own operative system. Can you integrate this for my customers? And we said, yes, we can do that.
Okay, okay, good, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Let me know when time's ready. Hi, everyone. My name is Ana Zúñiga, and I'm the founder and CEO of Modalab, a B2B platform that connects Latin American designers with retailers worldwide. So I was born and raised in Colombia. I have an industrial engineering degree, and for a long time, I always believed that the definition of success was building the corporate ladder. So I worked for 14 years in tech product development and customer-centric solutions in large companies in insurance and banking. But I always felt that I lacked purpose. Until one day I met Adriana. She's a Latin American designer who launched her premium brand in 2010. Adriana's pieces are handmade by local artisans and communities, preserving ancestral techniques and materials. But it took Adriana 12 years and more than $1 million of bootstrap investment to position her brand overseas and to sell through top retailers. Why? In a nutshell, brands from emerging markets don't have the exposure, the distribution capabilities, nor the financial resources to compete with fashion powerhouses. At Modalab, we're on a mission to revolutionize the Latin American fashion industry. We've built a B2B tech platform that facilitates the connection between designers and retailers. From brand discovery to distribution, we smooth the sourcing process for retailers, and we increase sales and margins for designers as well. We are also using the power of AI to enhance the shopping experience and to make our logistics model even more efficient. We have an amazing opportunity ahead of us as the demand for socially responsible and sustainable pieces has intensified worldwide. The Latin American fashion growth projection for the next 3 years is by 80%. There's also a vast pool of independent retailers avidly seeking for these special and ethical pieces, with yearly sales of 50 billion. Today's market offerings solve only one piece of the puzzle. Our one-stop shop uses centralized logistics, flexible purchasing options, and a single point of contact, making it the perfect fit for both ends. We launched in 2020 as a direct-to-consumer platform. We onboarded 70 designers, delivered to 30 countries, and sold 300 in sales. We bootstrapped, and we were only 2. So navigating ourselves the retail scene gave us a deep understanding of the challenges and the opportunities to grow brands beyond our direct channel, hence our shift to B2B. So in just 2 months of launching our B2B pilot, we've reached sales last month of $15,000. This early proof of concept has given us powerful insights to develop our own tech platform. Our MVP is being tested as we speak. So we will continue to onboard in the next few months designers and retailers with both in-person and physical and digital strategies and continue to develop our tech functionalities. We're currently raising a pre-seed round of $2 million to expand in the US and to build a solid network of 400 retailers, 500 designers, and reach a gross margin value of $25 million by year 3. Our model is simple. We charge a 25% commission to retailers for successful orders. Last but not least, I'm proud to say we have a team of experts in fashion retail, tech, operations, marketing, and sales, deeply committed to our purpose and to open many doors for all the Adrianas out there who don't have a fighting chance and build the future of Latin American fashion. Join us.
So congratulations on the traction so far early on. And I want to ask you a question. These designers, how are they finding you? How are you finding them? And I guess I was a little confused on, is the ultimate goal then to get them traction in the US with these US retailers?
Completely. So we already had 70 designers onboarded in our previous model. We started this pilot with 15, the ones that are ready to export and have all the capabilities, production capacity, et cetera. So a lot of designers already were positioned in LATAM. They reach us, and we have a scoring process where we analyze each of the subjects: production capacity, brand DNA, strong product. So for us, this part of the two-ended marketplace is relatively easy. Our challenge is now to onboard retailers in the US. So our early profile customer are LATAM retailers, and we started testing with them before. That way we have a strong platform to reach now US retailers. And our onboarding strategy is going to be the traditional way. We go to trade fairs, we build trust, so retailers can know that our products have the best quality. And then we have a strong digital strategy as well, which designers don't have the capacity to do, to continue the repurchasing process.
How are you going to keep or protect your designers from talking to retailers like directly once they found each other on the platform? Like they didn't confirm the deal, but they just go behind your scenes and talk and save 25%?
That's a super valid question. It took us a while to figure out how to build a super solid value proposition for both designers and for retailers so that they don't skip us. So for designers, we charge 25%, but doing the process themselves costs them 40% because they don't have the volume, they cannot negotiate with logistics providers, et cetera. It's more costly. And for retailers, we provide them with a solution that makes the distribution process cheaper as well, which the cost is always translated to the retailer. and they're going to be able to purchase different designers from our platform with much lower restrictions regarding minimum quantities, etc. So we're very positive that retailers are going to prefer to use our channel. Thank you. Yeah?
Hi, Anna. Great presentation.
Thank you.
How do you assess a designer's ability to manufacture and scale to the retailer's needs? Because it feels like you would quickly fall to like a very small group of designers that actually would qualify for your space. And then I go back to his question, how do you separate them? Yeah.
Okay, so the reduction of the 15 designers was mostly because since we have flexible minimum quantities, we need more retailers so that we can reach the total volume of, for example, so a retailer purchases from 5 different designers, and we go to the designer and we place a large wholesale order. So we need to continue in parallel to increase the number of both sides. But also we have in our team a person that helps them and consults them for 25 years in the process of internationalization. So she can help us assess which companies have the production capacity and are ready to go to international markets.
So like as you look at like the next 3 to 4 months, like how many designers do you think you actually are targeting?
In the next 3 to 4 months, we're targeting 80 designers.
80 designers? And then what do you think is the pool of designers?
In the next 3 years, 400. We don't want to do thousands of designers because we want to keep the impact on each one, and we want to increase their sales by 3. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mariano Apodaca, founder and CEO of Prosperous AI. Today, as business managers and owners, understanding when, where, and how you're spending your money is most important to making sure you're catching your budgets. Analysis work is becoming more complex than ever. Pulling it from all different softwares, you need data scientists, financial analysts, and a procurement decision-making team. There's too many conversations with your sourcing teams, and it takes time and is expensive. This means companies are spending millions of dollars every year not running proper analytics or having the right sourcing conversations. I bring you Prosperous AI's Pi solution, a multi-level AI agent, running your data analysis, predicting where your business is going, looking at inventory and forecasting, and having the conversations with your suppliers. This means faster decision-making. For one of our clients, it took them 6 weeks to run these analyses each quarter. For us, it's a one-day turnaround running in perpetuity. And this exact client was spending $54 million in materials and supplies. We were able to lower their costs by renegotiating their contracts 22 to 30% in some categories. This meant a 5 to 10% increase in their gross margin. This means you don't focus on raising budgets. This means you keep your prices low. Today, sourcing looks like this: an internal team of data scientists, financial analysts, procurement managers, and decision makers, each siloed in their own insights. It's expensive, complex, and takes time. More popular and growing today is outsourced procurement, but it's also expensive because it gives you access to market analysis and getting the best pricing. Prosperous AI is an AI powerhouse running in perpetuity at $1,500 a month, giving you insights and accurate insights into your business. Our traction today goes to show how much the market needs this. With $1.3 million in pipeline since January of 24, $400,000 in commitments from active POCs in our clients' environments, and $5,000 in MRR, monthly recurring revenue. The software procurement market looks like this: $8.1 billion, and these focus strictly on expense tracking and invoicing internally. $4.6 billion in outsourcing. It goes to the outsourcing procurement market, growing at a 12% CAGR as they have access to a market analysis. Over the next year, we are going to acquire $2.5 million in this market, and this is how we're going to do it. We'll sell advanced AI software and architecture to third-party and outsourced procurement teams. This gives us an instant access to a book of clients and gives them a better client experience. We are acting similar to Zillow for the sourcing market, bringing supply chain into Pi. The cost of our software is simple, $1,500 a month for each client dashboard that we build out, or 5 to 10% of what they save with our software. And in the future, we'll IP our agent workflows into these accounts in different areas of the business. We are seeking $2 million in funding for continued development of the product, looking at customers and what they need within their environments. Our tech infrastructure, which is a robust AI architecture, and a go-to-market strategy, making sure we're focusing on what's most important to the business. Our 24/7 powerhouse team is myself. I've been building companies since I was 11 years old, and I continue to do it, and I'm going to bring this to success within the market. With a background in Microsoft and a supply chain at HP, and my co-founder as well from Microsoft and HP. Our engineers are focused on AI and bringing the latest and greatest into our house. They are experienced in startups, and they'll continue to provide what we need to be successful. Prosperous AI, analytics amplified, sourcing simplified.
Hey, great presentation.
Thank you.
Can you give a little insight as to who the target customer is for your product?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had a lot of traction and success with outsourced procurement teams who are existing on legacy software. Into the future, we'll look at ERP systems that don't have the analytics portion of their business, and we can even be an IP add-on into softwares that are just doing like invoice tracking, where you need a new computer, you go request it, a manager approves it. That's where most of that software is existing. So we're bringing the analytics to that business, and we're making it automatic.
And what specific analytics are you bringing to that?
Yeah, so it looks at your spending data and your material sourcing data. So we're predicting like how are you using your materials, when are you using them, and how much are you paying for them, and can we renegotiate those contracts in order to save you more money?
So is the customer savings in the renegotiation of contracts or in the procurement analytics that you guys are providing, or is it somehow intertwined?
It's all intertwined. So it's a full process flow of P2P, right? So we're going from running the analytics, seeing what categories we can renegotiate, what's the propensity for those people to fulfill those orders, and then how we can get better pricing. And then based off of how much they're saving, we either get a percentage of their savings, and as well as the subscription cost for $1,500 a month, which is a dashboard for each client.
Thank you, Mario.
Yeah, thank you.
For that $1.4 million that you have in pipeline, is that clients waiting for existing features? Are those live discussions? Could you walk us through that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So we took on some beta customers last year to really test out the data aggregation portion of the business. Obviously, the analytics took track, and people really love talking about it. You're basically replacing a data scientist and a financial analyst. What they're looking for is longevity, right? And we're building a company to exist for a long time, so they feel comfortable bringing in that ERP data. It's expensive, it takes time sometimes, and to be able to stay sticky within their accounts, they want us to last a long time.
So it sounds like onboarding process then?
Yeah, a little bit of onboarding, and then also just showing to our clients that we're going to be here for the long run.
Okay, thank you.
Great presentation.
Thanks.
With your beta customers,
Yes.
what's been the savings that's really been experienced by these customers?
Yeah, so we have a couple clients, one with $54 million in spends. They hadn't really negotiated a lot of their contracts in many years because obviously it takes time to run the analysis to see where you're spending your money. So with them, we were seeing in some of their material sourcing categories anywhere from 22 to 30%, depending on where they were sourcing it. And what we provide them is either access to other distributors or similar materials that may also solve the same purpose within their business.
So your data sources, like one is obviously like ERP system or any customer system where they tracking their sourcing, right?
Yep.
To negotiate the better deal, what's your, like where you get pricing? You crawling the marketplaces? Or?
Yeah, so the best part with working with third-party outsourcing companies is that they have these databases of distribution channels and what they're paying for certain materials. So we're able to access that data and provide a market analysis to see if they're getting the best pricing in the market based on historical trends or what they may have paid in the past or across client sets. So the reason that we're going for these outsourced procurement companies is it gives us access to the data, and then on top of that, it is also giving us an access to a book of clients.
Okay, and what's your best customer? Like what's the size of the company? Because big companies, they already have solutions like Business Network, where all this built in.
Yes, so like I said, the customer right now is outsourced procurement companies that are spending anywhere from $50 to $100 million in spend. So we're looking at their spend more than maybe their revenue generation or the size, number of people that they have in their company, right? There could be a level of automation going through that process.
Quick question on your customer acquisition strategy. How do you really scale? How do you grow?
Yeah, absolutely. My co-founder is an expert in sales. He is going out there, reaching out to clients, going into distribution channels. With our backgrounds working within the channel, we had a lot of partnerships that we're able to leverage and have those conversations with. They already have the client's trust. They're looking at what they're doing. So we're building out those distribution channel in the channel with outsourced procurement customers, as well as your normal sales tactics like cold calling, outreach, LinkedIn messaging. But we're really trying to keep marketing low, which is why we're going through the channel and direct to partners and people who can utilize the analytics. Thank you so much, everyone.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rob Flessner, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Vugo. We help fleets generate more revenue with our AI-powered software solution that we have. Transportation today is having an issue. It's critical infrastructure, but where's the money? Fleets are not really making money due to decreasing margins, and drivers are struggling with decreasing wages, and many are barely making minimum wage today. This is not a problem just for Uber and Lyft. This is something that's impacting taxi fleets, municipal fleets and microtransit services, medical transportation fleets, and others in the ecosystem. And so what we've built is a platform that helps drive more revenue to fleets and help with passenger-centric workflows to drive more operational value to fleets and drivers. Things like location-based advertising, in-vehicle entertainment, and other passenger-centric workflows. The way our core platform works today is we get dispatch data from our fleet partners. So think about origination data, destination data, information about the passenger themselves, and we make that information available for our brands and advertising partners that we work with to curate the entire in-vehicle media experience for these passengers. So think about if you're headed to a sports stadium, you might see sports clips or maybe a Budweiser ad before you get to the game, or if you're headed to a doctor's appointment, maybe seeing something relevant to your appointment before you arrive at your doctor's appointment. The emerging passenger economy is huge. Over the next decade, it's expected to be over $200 billion in annual value. And it's centered around 4 key pillars, and that's in-vehicle location-based advertising, in-vehicle commerce, in-vehicle entertainment like video on demand, and then data, work-based workflows that you can have in the vehicles. And that's what we built our platform to account for. Our platform is offered to fleets as a subscription service. That includes things like our Trip Intent AI advertising platform, entertainment, messaging, and things like that, as well as additional value-add services we can offer to fleets like medical billing or credit card processing for certain types of workflows. We have a revenue share that we do with fleets as well. We do a 50% split of any ad revenue that flows through our platform to them. And more importantly, we have significant traction on this model. We work with a lot of automakers, taxi cab services, rideshare services, and other fleets, including non-emergency medical transportation, for example, with this model today. Right now, we have over 8,000 vehicles in our backlog that we're working to onboard from our partners. So we already have pretty significant traction with this model. The average lifetime value of one of our screens in a car is about $5,000 to us and about $5,000 to the fleet. So this helps drive up a lot of incremental value to increase margins for those fleets. We have over 8 million vehicles in our pipeline, in our total addressable market. So when you apply this across the entire ecosystem, it's about a $40 billion total addressable market today. We do have some competition in the space. most of those competitors are focused on exterior ads on cars and not the convergence of passenger experience and technology, which is what we're focusing on. And we think we have the right team for this. We have previous startup experience and decades of industry experience specific to this. We also have subject matter experts that give us a very distinct competitive advantage. We're here at Emerge Americas to look for new partners, brands, fleets, municipalities, anybody that we can work with. And we're also raising a $1.5 million SAFE to help us onboard a backlog of cars faster. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great idea, great presentation. Couple questions. One, your competitors. So I already saw this like on other markets, like up and running with entertainment, with location-based ads, and so on. So how you gonna like be the first? What's your?
Yeah, so it's a really good question. We do have some competition in the space. Most competitors are focused on basically putting a cheap tablet in the back of the car or putting a rooftop display ad on. They're not really focused on the passenger experience of that equation. So we help like non-emergency medical transportation fleets with signature collection, for example, which is required for billing to confirm that they've actually dropped off a passenger. So it's more than just ads. It's about optimizing the entire passenger experience.
Okay, and the second question, like the tablet you mentioned, like the other competitors use like cheap Android tablets. So yours is $895, right? So
Correct.
Is it like you lease it, or that's something I have to pay as a fleet owner for each vehicle?
Yep. It's something that you'd have to buy as a fleet owner. Average fleet size we work with varies between 100 to 150 vehicles, and they're capitalized to buy it. I mean, they're buying $40,000 cars to put on the road and retire after 3 years. And so it's a very small expense for them by comparison. And when you have a fully embedded device, or for the screen, it makes a much better passenger experience. It doesn't require driver input. You don't have to keep it plugged in. And it's not going to fall off the car or anything like that. It's part of the experience.
Can you talk about the personalization of that experience? So as a passenger, I have to opt in to the process, right? And then you're going to collect some kind of data, and then you submit that data to your third parties. Can you talk about, is that an opt-in model?
Yeah, so right now it's by taking the trip, you're opting in by default, at least in the U.S. market. Other markets, that might not be the case. Advertising is kind of the Wild West here in the U.S. for a lot of different reasons, but the opt-in for us is really that your data about origination and destination is being used to target a more contextual experience. So,
How much money has been invested in the company to date, and how are you going to deploy the capital that you're raising?
so we've raised $1.5 million to date, and the capital we're deploying as part of the current raise will be used to help onboard that backlog of vehicles that we have faster. A lot of that is just hiring more people to get done.
Hey, great presentation. I want to understand, are the marketers seeing a return on their investment?
Yes, great question. Yes, short answer.
Thanks.
Our devices have a 33% interaction rate. So in general, people do like what they see and they interact with it.
Sorry, can you repeat that, the interaction rate?
It's about 33%.
That means that the user's interacting with the tablet in the vehicle?
Correct, yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
Perfect.